So I was watching Glenn Beck's interview with the scientist who did the report on fracking. And for those of you that have seen it, you'll note that he wants to clarify with the scientist that while the public media or the general media has seized on the fact that fracking causes earthquakes, and based on this scientist's reports, he wants the scientist to clarify that there's only certain times or circumstances and at certain depths or whatnot, very specific part of the process where fracking is caused. And Glenn seemed to seize on this as justification that fracking's not bad or that we shouldn't be worried about it. That's the takeaway I got. And I found it interesting because, first of all, that's just one scientist. And a lot of other scientists think there's a problem with fracking. I think there is. I think common sense would lead us to realize how dangerous this is. You know, you're playing with pretty massive forces, the shifting of the Earth's tectonic plates and fracturing things deep down in the earth. And we don't really have a great knowledge of that, as has been demonstrated by what's been going on with fracking and the whole debate of what does it do. But never mind earthquakes. As bad as earthquakes are, let's just move away from earthquakes for a minute. Fracking uses huge amounts of water and either has been shown to pollute the water tables or is thought to have been able to. When I say that, I mean there are areas where it definitely has polluted the water tables. And then there's areas where they think it has caused contamination in our water source. You know, in light of what's going on in California right now, and other parts of the world, we've always had water shortages in parts of the world. California is a great example right now because it's threatening the world's food supply. Here in Canada, we get a large part, as does a lot of the world, I think, a lot of the states too, of our fruits and vegetables from California in the winter, during our winter when we typically don't grow them. And they've been cheap and available. That, they're saying, is going to change due to shortage of water. Here we have fracking, something that jeopardizes our water supply, pollutes our water. These are underground reservoirs that are not easily replenished or easily fixed if we allow this type of thing, this fracking, to damage them. These are very serious repercussions. And in a situation like this, if there's even a question of such great damage on such a great magnitude to such a fundamental thing that humans need for their existence, such as water, I think you need to err on the side of caution and stay away from it. So being a proponent of fracking to get fossil fuels, which are in the process of being phased out. I mean, eventually we're all going to be working on renewable energies, whether it's solar, whether it's hydrogen. Why are we allowing rich companies, greedy companies, to destroy areas of our planet, of our country, of the state you live in, of the province you live in, for their benefit? There's no benefit to you and I, the everyday people, the population, the general populace. There's only benefit for the wealthy people that own these companies and for the corporations themselves. They're going to make a lot of money from fracking. They are not going to clean it up, most likely, if history is any example. And when we talk about cleanup, any damage they caused, they probably couldn't fix if they wanted to. Because if you pollute the water tables, our drinkable waters, where we get our water from, a lot of people, their drinking water that comes out of your tap is drawn from the ground, out of wells. They're all fed by the water tables deep down. If you ruin those, You can't fix that. How are you going to fix that? And not only that, you could have someone over here in another state entirely polluting, and that state says it's okay, and they could be destroying, contaminating, polluting the water table, and underground that is all connected, interconnected. So in a neighboring state, which is outlawed it and trying its best to be progressive and to be correct or vigilant or, cautious on the whole thing and not wanting to damage their water tables, to enact laws to protect the people and not a few greedy corporations or extremely wealthy people at the top, because everybody needs water. Wealthy people can import it from wherever. They're not going to care. But you and I, what happens if all of a sudden there's no potable water where you live because fracking has gone on? So, like I said, if in a neighboring state it's fracking and deep down under the ground, it's caused the water table in the state next door to be polluted, what then? It's fine and dandy to say, oh, we'll sue them or we'll try and force them to fix it. But again, this is a serious issue. You cannot fix this type of thing once you've ruined it. And so I think everybody needs to follow the example of those states and those countries and whatnot that have banned fracking. Fracking should not be allowed. It's dangerous. It's not, they're even those that are proponents of it, they can't say with 100% surety that they know that it's not doing these awful things to the ground, the water table, never mind causing earthquakes. So why do we even want to engage in something like that? What's the return on it? For a few oil companies to make a few more $1 billion? How is the oil company's increased profit benefiting you or me? It's not. But yet, what they're doing with fracking could very much impact you in a very negative way. Imagine not being able to turn on the tap and have any drinking water. Imagine not being able to turn on the tap and have a shower. Imagine not being able to fill your pool. Look, you don't need to look any farther than California to start seeing what the results of this would be. California is not necessarily, this isn't a fracking issue, but they're going through a drought. Well, that same type of drought could be everywhere that fracking is going on, because the water could be polluted. You could have water right there, but it's not drinkable, it's not potable, you can't shower in it. It's the risk is just not worth the benefit, because let's face it, the benefits are not coming to you and I. The benefits are going to some people at the top. So why let a few greedy oil companies jeopardize the places where we live and our planet and our water supply, such a fundamental thing, so that they can make a few more bucks? I just don't see how that should be allowed or how that's any benefit to you and I. If I'm wrong, let me know. Let's have a discussion on it. Leave some comments below. Where do you stand on this issue? Am I way out in left field here? I don't think I am. I think if you look at it, like I said, just look at it simply as the potential negatives far outweigh any advantages. And certainly there's no advantage to you or I in them doing it. So let me know. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.